Okay, so we've come up to the hardest part of cubic functions when you've got brackets all the way across. So it's going to be a cubic because x times x times x is x cubed, so it's a cubic but it's got 3 brackets. Or x squared times x is x cubed. So the difference here is got a double bracket. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so what we've got is we've got x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Now, instead of the shape being that shape for the cubic, now it's going to have a roller coaster shape. Okay, so still finishing in different directions, but rather than having the y equals x cubed straightforward shape, it's going to be a roller coaster shape. Now, to find the x-intercepts, you just take the opposite numbers in the brackets. Okay, so it'd be minus a minus b minus c, and the y-intercept would be a times b times c. Okay, so in our first one that I've got here in blue, I've got minus 1, minus 3 and plus 2. So the x-intercepts are positive 1, positive 3 and minus 2, and the y-intercept minus 1 times minus 3 is plus 3, plus 3 times 2 is plus 6. Okay, so that's all you need. So 1, so there's minus 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're just going to make a roller coaster. So it's going to turn in between, so halfway in between there, so that gap is 3, so the gap is 1.5, so it's going to turn there. That gap is 2, so it's going to turn there. So it turns and then comes down, goes down, rolls up. Okay, and what we say is that value is 6. Okay, so that if you go into Desmos, you'll see that as well. So you take the opposite numbers in the brackets to get the x-intercepts. You multiply the numbers in the brackets to get the y-intercept. So you mark the x-intercepts in, split the gap, and then it's got to turn and split the gap, and it's got to turn, and then wherever it crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. Okay. What's next? Now, actually, I might do one more of that type. So if I've got y equals x minus plus 4, x plus 1, x minus 3. Let's just do one more of that type. Okay. So the x-intercepts are negative 4, negative 1, positive 3. And the y-intercept is 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1. Minus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. X, y. Okay, so minus 4, minus 1, plus 3. Okay. Again, it's going to have that shape. Okay. It's a positive x cubed, so it has to finish up rather than the other way around. So halfway, that gap is 3, so halfway is something like there. That gap is 4, half of that 4 is 2, so it's going to turn there. Okay, change colour. So it's going to go up, down, and then turn. And where it crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept minus 12. Okay. Again, until you do year 11 and 12, you won't know how high those values are or exactly where they are, but that's that one. Let's go back and we'll do the one I was going to do. Come back. Okay, so we've got a cube. Again, it's a positive x cube, so it's going to finish in a plus direction. But we've got x-intercepts. It looks like we've only got 2. because we've got a double here, so the x-intercepts are 1 and actually turn around. It's actually x squared times minus x is a minus x cubed, so it means it finishes going down. So I made a mistake there. Anyway, we've got two x-intercepts at 1 and the other one is going to be at x equals 2, the opposite number. The y-intercept minus 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, because we don't have 3 x-intercepts, 1, okay, what happens is it's going to do a bounce. So this is called a double root, and so it's going to come down, bounce, turn halfway in between, and then keep going down after that. So that value there is equal to 2. So when you have a double bracket, it means there's a bounce. Okay, it's called a double root, and we'll do one more of those on the next 2 pages forward. So copy that and come across. All right, so we'll do one more. Okay, so we've got a double at x at that value there. So the x-intercepts are 3 and minus 2. The y-intercept 2 squared is 4. 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. Okay. Y and x. Okay, it's a positive x cube, so it has to finish up. Okay, the double bounce is going to happen. The double root is at minus 2, so it's going to bounce. So it's going to bounce. Okay, the gap between minus 2 and 3 is 5, which is about 2.5. So somewhere at 2.5, turn and go back up. And that value there is minus 12. Now when I said 2.5, the gap is 5, which means 2.5 there or 2.5 there. So somewhere around there, it's going to turn. Okay, that's it. Thanks for coming. Bye.